Let me start with the first film, that was Rabon Mondodori Sombad, Souvik. I love the concept. You've taken the story from an epic, right, from the Ramayana, the story of Ravan and Mondodori, and not just adapted it, but weaved it with another story of a modern couple. Tell us, how did you get that idea, and what was the thought process behind this?
I mean, I've always grown up hearing the stories of Ramayana, and I've been told that these are timeless. So when I was, thinking about it in the perspective of immigrants, our lives, our issues, and was thinking about how we can relate to some of these incidents that are mentioned in these epics, which are happening in probably our daily lives, just camouflaged in the 21st century immigrant lives. So just tried to bring that one story, and I was always fascinated by the character of Ravana. I believe it's one of the very strong characters, and I often wondered that what could have changed the ending of the epic. And that brought up this very strong female character, which was his wife, Mondodori, and that's what got it started. And how can I bring it to an immigrant life, our life, and how we can relate to it. That basically my passion for mythology, along with filmmaking, kind of merged into and created Rabon Mondodori Sombad.
Right. So as you said, you wanted a different ending. We saw the character Ria transforming within those 15-20 minutes. Yes. From being the wife of a very knowledgeable but an arrogant man who cannot think beyond himself, to transition to a character who stands up for herself. So how difficult was this? You have written this story as well. Yes. So how difficult was it to depict this transition when you were writing the story?
Very interesting, because I shot Rabon Mondodori Sombad in October of 2020. So there's some pragmatic things about Chicagoland. There was a peak in, of course, March, April of the pandemic, and there was another peak in the fall. So I was hand-tied with a lot of things, and I'm sure filmmakers here would have faced the same situation, that we want to do a lot more, but these films, I believe, were done in the peak of the pandemic. So one of the things that I was limited to, I had to do the story as indoor, as much drama as possible. I did not have the liberty to take a lot of outdoor shoots for my cast members and keeping safety in mind. But yes, I mean, I wanted to bring up this story as someone who is, we have seen that in immigrant families, and I think that was pretty much a theme in a lot of these films, that not a lot of stories are told about the women, the immigrant women and their lives. And I wanted to bring her transformation from being just a spouse of a very successful individual to someone who's independent and finds the strength within and relates to it. The platform of the drama brings up the real strength within her. So that's what got it started.
Okay, let's move to the discovery, right? Completely from mythology to sci-fi. I think your film was very unique in the sense, very different from most of the other films that we have been seeing here at the CSAF. So what stood out most for me was how much you have packed into those 10 minutes, right? It was almost like watching a mega full-length feature film, a space movie, with all the thrill of the story, the visuals, the effects, images, sound, everything. So I'm very keen, and I'm sure the audience is too, on knowing about the process. How did you go about making a film like this? And I'm sure a lot of effort went behind it.
Yeah, well, thank you, first of all, and grateful, guys, congratulations. So just as so what you were saying, budgetary constraints and everything are in full-fledged in my film, so I'm glad you thought it was larger than it probably was. But, you know, it was, you know, he's my actor and producer, obviously, and we went with it just with the indie spirit, you know, so, you know, editing it and production designing it myself and everything. But we just knew we wanted to tell a sort of on a blockbuster level kind of film, but still with our indie spirit at heart, and to give voice to diverse filmmakers in this genre that isn't that common. And as you said, I'm honored to be featured here at you know, the South Asian Festival, but we want to kind of bring these voices and these characters to